Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to just talk about Tennessee football. I mean, I'm a Tennessee fan, so let's just talk about them for a bit. I have a lot of notes, and we're going to go over, and we're going to do something a little bit different also with it, with the whole idea of the video. So usually I just talk and put up pictures or whatever, but we're going to talk about some of the plays that Tennessee runs, and I have a whiteboard. So we're going to see how this works. This is my first time using a whiteboard for this situation, like showing plays or how I look at them. So this is all how I look at Tennessee and how they play. I've watched all their games. I've watched all the highlights. I watched the Orange Bowl again yesterday. So let's get into reviewing how I think Tennessee is going to do, how they did last year, and how they're going to do this year. First up, one thing I saw that I need to talk about is that to start off the game, sometimes Joe Milton has a little slow start. And I saw him like twice, I think, stare down a receiver. So he can't be doing that. Tennessee, there's so many players that can get open either on any certain route, no matter what, because of the speed that they got, because they're just great receivers. And speed and route running is going to help with this. Makes a great receiver. So, yeah, he needs to not stare down receivers. Also, Aaron Beasley played a very good game against Clemson. He made Cade Klubnik have a lot of problems. He got 2 sacks, I'm pretty sure. He was by far the best defensive player in that game. And then one thing we have had to understand is that our secondary needs to improve. We were saying that last year, especially whenever we're playing South Carolina and gave up over 60 points. That was not good. That was not good. But we can possibly improve in that. We have 73% of our starters returning on defense from last year, which I like that. The 73% of the production on defense is coming back. That's something I do like to see. Byron Young has to leave, though. He was probably our best defensive player, which is okay because I like how our pass was played in the Orange Bowl. But let's get into the main route systems that they had and the main schemes that they had with Tennessee. First of all, everyone knows, unless you just didn't watch college football, Tennessee has probably the best quick offense in NCAA. Definitely just the best offense scoring wise, and it was known last year. They just had the best offense in general. But their system of it was that they would go fast. They had one of the fastest snap counts ever in the NCAA last year. I think per play was like 20 seconds per play they have, which is very quick for football terms, and that led to a lot of defensive mistakes and also led to them putting up 48 points per game. And I'm going to show up one of the plays, 2 different plays that they kind of do, and they're 2 different sets on how they would get defenses just offset. I'll show the first one. I'm not sure how this is going to work. We're going to try it out. So right here, the first one is going to be, it's just usually the roll. Now, I'm pretty sure Brute McCoy would usually play. Would go out, and he would go out and block the first corner. This is usually if it was a zone play, because if it's man-to-man, they're going to be both up on the line. So usually it's quick. It's showed against LSU, showed against other teams. But they go up and block, and then usually probably Ramel Keaton or Jalen Hyatt would just stay back and just catch the ball. It's a simple screen pass, but against a fast defense like that, knowing what the type of routes it can run, then lining up that far out and leaving 1-on-1B2s, guy just get out of the block, hooker or throw it to the side, get about 6-8 yards. And then, this is one of the bigger plays that they would run. This is usually that Brew McCoy and Jalen Hyatt would run together. It's down at the bottom here. This is, by the way, these are the offensive linemen, and the X's are the receivers, tight ends, running backs, and quarterback. That's a quarterback, that's a running back. So, usually they run up on this side, and then it usually be Hyatt on here. He would swoop under. Usually McCoy would come into the middle, go in on a deeper route. It's about 10, 15 yards. Usually they'd get their just simple passes that you have. It would also show if they're man-to-man or not, because if they have to cross over, then, well, yeah, it's man-to-man. But if they would just stay in their zone, then the middle is usually going to be open. But this worked against Alabama twice, both with Hyatt using it. And it usually would be, this is the one that was around, I think it was 28 at the time. And then it cut through the middle, and then Hyatt just got open on the deep ball on the left side because they just ran through the middle, and he couldn't keep up because the safety wasn't there. And then on other plays throughout the game, we had that happen where, again, I'll show this again. They put him on the other side, and then Hyatt in here, instead of just doing a curl here, like kind of just curling to the middle, he went more of a post pattern to the side, and then split to defenders. That was around an 80-something yard touchdown, which that was definitely huge, and that changed the game a lot for Tennessee. So I'm pretty sure that got them the lead back, and without that, we probably don't win the game. But I'm going to switch, again, if I erase something, it's just, I'm just erasing it. And then sometimes we'd have a little, just simple run plays and stuff. Yeah, just Jalen Wright. It's kind of tough to describe a run play that they'd run a lot. Usually it's just up the middle, just hand off up the middle with Jalen Wright. And then Jabari Small's very good last year, but sometimes we'd have him go to the left side, usually like kind of an inside zone or a little bit of a sweep play. But usually it's just up the middle, and that's usually when they need yards and they want to start off the drive pretty well. And then you had these routes too. I'll make this real quick. Okay. Again, I'm not the best at drawing, so also I'm doing this pretty quick too. So I'm just going to show off one of the plays that happened. This happens when Ramel Keaton, he had an open play against Alabama. He just didn't hit, but I remember this is one of the plays that happened. So he'd go up here. Tennessee would go up here. There's probably, again, Brew McCoy was used a lot last year because, what's the guy's name? I forget. The Tillman. Tillman was hurt last year for a while. And Cedric Tillman was hurt last year for a while. So they had to fill in Ramel Keaton, and then Brew McCoy had to switch over. So for right here, they would usually have McCoy come here on a curl route, or Hyatt, whatever. Usually not Hyatt, but usually going on a curl route, and then have a guy go deep. And that also test, because that makes it a clear one-on-one that the safety has to keep up with. And the safety's not Keaton's also very fast. So Keaton just going at full speed is a straight up just track run. It's a sprint. And the safety's still steadfast on his feet. And then sometimes with that route on the other side, you would have, let me get this right real quick. You would have, and then usually Jabari Small would be this role. The end to go on this side, and then you're going to have him come out the backfield on a little flat route. That worked heavily well for Tennessee because that made you have to keep honest. You had to make sure you show it if you had a corner route, if the curl route. You had to make sure that was covered, and then the deep ball also had to be covered too. And then Jalen Wright, usually Jabari Small would just be open in the flat. This year it would be mostly Jalen Wright, but most of the power back and just random, just receiving back. So I kind of figured out throughout the year who's going to be receiving back. But this year I could see that speed guy, Ramel Keaton's role. Ramel Keaton probably the guy doing the curl route, and then Squirrel White's going to go deep. And one thing I saw that was very interesting, that I was very flattered about. I'm keeping on the same side of the field with this one. And it was mainly, this is one of the most basic plays, and I think they will be able to abuse this year with Ramel Keaton and Squirrel White, is the simple post pattern. And that showed against Clemson. Joe Milton can throw it about a good 65 yards. Yeah, pretty consistently. So people talk about Joe Milton's throw power like it's nothing. Like, oh, it's just he has just a rocket for an arm. He can throw it 90 yards. Okay, can you throw a 5-yard pass? Yes, he can throw a 5-yard pass. He's a quarterback. Why do people think quarterbacks just can't throw 5-yard passes, 10-yard passes? He's done that his whole life. Those simple plays, and then the bombs that he can throw also help too. So the media is saying like, oh, he just has a cannon for an arm. Yeah, also he is built very good. Only problem with Milton I also saw was people talk about his accuracy, like short arm accuracy. His pocket awareness gets a little bit better. You saw a couple plays that he could have maybe rolled out, or maybe should have just let the running back keep it, or also just keep it himself. Give it to the running back or keep it himself. And he kind of messed up a couple times, but I think that's just getting more comfortable with the offense. Because they only had one game with Vanderbilt, and they just ran through Vanderbilt, literally. I think they had over 300 yards rushing that game. So with that, when you mix everything into that, I think Joe Milton just needs to get comfortable with the offense, and then he'll be perfectly fine. And also, especially when you're starting off against Virginia, and then you have another game in Florida. Those two games will very much help come into the play for that one. But again, I don't know what they're going to run here. Probably a curl or an in route. So let me hypothetically put a slant route right there, hypothetically. And then, it's not the best slant route in the world, but let's hypothetically say that. So yeah, the slant right here, let's say this is Ramel Keaton. So they come here and cut here immediately. Right one scroll pass, when the right one scroll white comes by, either they get jammed here and then Keaton gets wide open, or it's a clear one-on-one, because this corner on this side cannot follow. The safety now is understanding that, well, he has to guard this guy. And again, scroll white, I think it was clocked, he can run 23 miles per hour. That is extraordinarily fast. I don't think there's an NFL player in-game, never ran that fast by the next-gen stats. But granted, this was out of pads and stuff, but that just shows how fast Squirrel White can be. Let's say he can run 21.5 miles per hour on the field. Oh no, that's absurd. You cannot run a safety with that. That's a school zone speed. Like, school zones have that miles per hour. He can run that. But with this one, you're going to have safeties one-on-one covered deep, and you better not put a linebacker on him. That better not work. The thing about this is to make it so tough, how do you blitz against this team? With these schemes, with 4 guys out, with a good run game, how do you blitz? And if Joe Milton can get comfortable in this offense, which I think he's going to be able to, if Josh Heupel's help, under Hooker's not really, kind of wing, under his wing a little bit, just to be able to review, not really his wing, kind of, it's kind of like it, kind of not, just be able to review and watch Hooker play in this offense. He can play like that. They were roommates. They were great friends. Hooker's can help him out a lot, and I bet he did last year. And remember, Joe Milton is 10 touchdowns, 0. I think 10 or 12 touchdowns, no interceptions at Tennessee. So the turnover is not going to be the problem. It's just going to be the accuracy, and they also got stalled out a lot by Clemson. But I think that was more better defense than Joe Milton's fault. A couple times it was, but I mean, Clemson's one of the best defenses in the country. And that showed. They just play very good defense, and they still put up 31 on them. So it seems like this year, Joe Milton and Tennessee's offense might be one of those teams that is just, if they don't score, it's a 3-and-out. But if they don't get the 3-and-out, then they're going to score. So it's kind of like the boom or bust offense. I hope it's not like that, but it's looking like this. And also the defense for Tennessee. Let's be honest, you're not going to be like a dominant defense. You're not going to be. Your secondary is too weak for that. But you can do what you did against Clemson and be a bend but don't break defense, holding them to 40-plus yard field goals instead of letting them get into the red zone and possibly to the goal line, because it took them pretty sure until the third quarter to score a touchdown, or the early fourth. So you're talking about a team that has proven to be able to get stops, proven to be able to make big plays. Can they do it consistently, though? Can they do it consistently? Can their secondary get a little bit better? Doesn't have to be much. I like the pressure they're able to get. I love how our defense played against Clemson. They actually won us the game. I like how Maury Thomas is coming back, number 21. He's coming back. He's going to be good for Tennessee. And I'm just super excited for this year, to be honest, as a Tennessee fan. And I love how these schemes look. I think they will use Joe Milton's arm to the best of his advantage. And he's also accurate. He got a lot better with accuracy throwing the deep ball. So, yeah. Hope all you have a great day. Leave down in the comments your opinion about Tennessee. Leave down also how you feel about me using the whiteboard. I'll use it for other teams and stuff. I'll start just reviewing teams also. I'll do the schedule predictions, but doing just the predicting the schedule just take up a lot of that time instead of just me talking about whatever I want. This one is just talk about whatever, and I'll take a lot of notes, all this stuff. But yeah, I hope you all have a great day. Again, put down in the comments whatever you want. Leave your opinion about this. Talk about Tennessee. Hit the like button if you liked the video. It's much appreciated by me. I love the support all of you give. I'm very thankful for all of y'all. And I don't have a full goal with this channel. I just want to be able to have fun and be able to post and have you be able to watch my videos and just have fun watching this stuff too. So I hope all of you have a great day. Stay safe, everyone. I know there's weather coming through in a lot of part of the, like rainy weather coming through a lot of parts of America. And hope you all stay safe, and hit the subscribe button if you like my content. So yeah, hope you all have a great day again. Stay safe, and God bless y'all.